Afro-Betty. Give it up. Give it up for Afro-Betty. Afro-Betty. In the blue corner. Farad, give it up. Give it up for Farad. Let's get it.
We're gonna do it real big. We know our topics. We know our time limits. Let's be respectful of the crowd. Everybody got kids. Let's be great.
You first, right, Betty?
Yes.
First off, y'all, good evening. I don't claim to be a professional in this ring, but I'm well seasoned. So I've grown to be patient. I know how to attack the body. Wear her out a little bit, watch her guard come down and she gets sloppy. Ultimately, she'll throw a few Hail Marys and haymakers, hoping somebody's crazy enough to choose her as the victim. Any takers? Alright, well, round one. Let me tell y'all how this was presented to me. Is the world a better place with religion in it, or is it better religion free? Truth is, I can't even believe I'm having this battle about how we shouldn't have religion. But since I'm here, I'll take the time to show you how this is simply another case of people tripping. So I'm gonna give you 3 L's tonight. Round one, you're gonna take these lumps. We're gonna talk about how us as humans is cowards, straight up chumps. Want to pick and choose what's right and wrong, and when it's right and wrong too? Acting like that ain't a problem, it's not what we gonna do. Humans, we struggle with rules, but more so we can't handle our differences. You don't like what side they choose, so you want to kick the whole fence in. You want to believe in something, but follow no rules and regulations. Do harmful deeds and live with no stipulations. It's like he said, thou shalt not kill. The lifeblood that God put in you, thou shalt not spill. But you like, nah, over something like my kids, thou shalt not chill. You want to love God and do what you want to do after that. But he said, if you love me, you'll obey me. There's a standard that's attached to that. It's like, yo, you went to school. You probably ain't like them, but you understood that there was rules. And even when you got in good with the teacher, couldn't cheat on your assignments. And when you did mess up, you kind of hope she wouldn't find it. My bad, baby. I meant to say you hope she wouldn't find out. Because you knew when you stepped out of bounds, she sent you the time out. Did it make the rules bad because you simply chose to break them? You want to be mad at your maker because your maker chose to make them. Or it's like, you celebrate your blackness, but that don't make you racist. Talk about being a strong woman, but men ain't on your hate list. Stay there for a second. Let's speak about our anatomy. I don't think for 1 second that my penis makes you mad at me. Matter of fact, I know I'm speaking factually when I say we couldn't wait to learn more when we was working on that master, B. I was ready to show the world that I'm going to use my degree, and you, with your differences, was so ready to receive me. And it's funny, right? Even in my immaturity, you know them times when a brother might have been a little brief, or maybe didn't know my own strength and came on a little aggressively. Remember when things got a little tight? We ain't tap out, nah, we put up a fight and was determined that come what may, we are gonna get this right. But when it comes to something that sparks a little controversy, that spark is all of a sudden the problem. Lord have mercy. One of the greatest tricks of the enemy is to make you believe that the standard don't exist. That somehow you could trust God and turn yourself over to lawlessness. And we believe it. But like I said, we just be tripping. But let me not stumble over these words. I don't belong to the enemy. So you won't make me lose my religion.
You know, the words that you speak had me thinking very deeply about how we as a people, meaning humanity, have created our own truths because of our experiences. You see, the thing is, we learn from our own mistakes. And we often talk about how we take the mistakes of our ancestors, our friends, our family, to teach us what it means to do better. And the better part of that is to understand that because we're so different, nothing can withstand the truth that we are able to possess. Nothing can withstand the truth that we are able to profess, because we know that whatever we see and whatever we experience is only true to us. So is there anything really wrong with us deciding that truth for me and truth for you, although it may be different, has no rules, has no boundaries? And although we may have questions, and although we may get things wrong, the beautiful part of this song is that we can create an everlasting debate about believing in something that we cannot see, taking on these problems and dealing with the degrees of pain, but continue to say that we're going to fight for our own truth. See, I grew up in a family where Christianity was at the top priority of who we were. You don't ask questions, even if you saw answers. And I made a vow to myself that when I became an adult, I would have no issue with learning God for myself. Now, do I understand everything that goes wrong and everything that goes right? Absolutely not. But I'm living a life that has its own plot, just like we all do. So yes, I can turn to something that has its own truth. But what if that truth doesn't fit into what I believe? I think we deceive ourselves when we feel like we have to see things in the same way. Here's a funny story. I think we've all heard of this. If there's a car accident and we were all standing there to see it, we could all see the same thing and still see something different. And I think that is the beauty that is in truth. So yes, I can take this time and I can listen to what you say about rules and regulations. But the thing about me is that I spent my life following rules and regulations, unlike you said earlier. And because of that, I found myself being stigmatized and being hurt and being burdened. And it became worse as I became older because I was trying to make sense of the senseless world around me. And see, when I talk to people who have questions for me about my reality, I let them know that there's nothing that I would change other than having a better understanding of why I decided to go down a path that I didn't feel fit my frame of thinking and rethinking and unthinking and learning and relearning and turning my future into a constant battle between right and wrong, trying to create words to my own song that created me to feel so wrong when things were right for me, feeling right when I was wrong. But I recognize that sometimes I may feel disconnected from those who feel the same way that I felt. But the truth is that we face a reality that gives us the truth that maybe religion is not right for me. And if I choose that path, it doesn't make me wrong. And I wonder if people had the same feelings, if we minded our own business, would there be so much division?
Oh, God. That's on this. This is them going kind of deep right here. I don't know if I see it. Yeah, the water.
Round two. I know the first one came as kind of a gut shot, and I hope it stick to the ribs, but now it's time to take it up top and say a couple lines that'll stimulate your mind. All truth just so happens to rhyme. So this round, get ready for your lesson. Afro-Betty, I love you, my sister. I pray it comes as a blessing. I know I'm battling Betty, but she ain't even an enemy. But to believe in God and do what you want, well, that's the devil, and that's him simple. Created by God and given the gifts to serve him. Decided he was good on his own, that the gifts he was given, and he deserved them. Being the snake that he is, listened in when God spoke and gave his word to men. And he slide right on in and convince you that you never heard what you heard from him. And if I know us, we tend to want to choose evil. So follow the rules or do what we want. Which one is easy? Then get mad at the structure making the rules because we broke them. So no more God in your life. Being blunt, if he was a man, we'd smoke him. For pointing out what he knew would be my tendencies. Because he said if I violate his commands, it'd be the end of me. Tell me, Betty, do that sound like a brother you know at all? He was married to your namesake. Last name, synonymous with small. Called out the injustice perpetrated by those who were supposed to uphold the law. Changed his last name to a letter. And sure enough, they X'd him off. See, we want to be in a relationship, but also share our bed. Want to love God, but hate everything he said. Funny part is, we still doing everything he said. Men will be lovers of themselves and money, but not God. Got no regard for the truth, just my pride. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power. Believing in something greater, but the will we follow, always ours. That's what we do. And then we can't take the heat, so we kill everybody in the kitchen. But I ain't scared to do right, so you won't make me lose my religion.
Wow. They say, united we stand and divided we fall. And sometimes I see people falling for the same old sad love song. Seeing themselves being divided within their families, within their households, as they hold on to truths that has caused them to see things differently. And there's this sweet sound of victory when someone realizes that I don't have to look at the world in the same way that you do. It sounds twisted, but when you take a second and you listen to how people have used religion as a source of vision, we have war, we have dysfunction, we have pain, we have confusion. But yet we keep seeing people using this as an excuse to continue to follow some rules that doesn't always fit into what we need in this society. Now again, I have an unusual outlook on things. So I get it. I understand why people have religion and they follow certain rules because it keeps them in a certain square so that they do not go out and do their own things. Because the reality is, if we continue to bring in our own truths, of course, we're going to have people doing their own things and causing more and more issues. But the issue here is not that we are so different and have our own beliefs and our own morals. The issue stands that you speak about believing in something, but yet we see people who believe in the same God still having their own beliefs. So I chose to relieve myself of trying to follow someone else's sayings. And I began praying for my own self so that I wouldn't be preyed on my downfall. So yes, religion may have its place, but it does not take place of what I feel and what I see, conversations I had. You see, spirituality has a negative connotation to it within the space of religion. But is God not spirit? Is there nothing so dignified and great about this God that you speak that causes me to feel like I have to tweak how I believe? and the rules that I should follow. I've swallowed my pride time and time again and hoped that I would find myself in a more pleasant place with my family and my friends. I've tried not to sin, and I've tried not to sin again and again. But something about trying to follow what other people feel I should follow has caused me to have this tidal wave of mistakes. And I've made a vow to myself that I would never mistake the path that my spirituality leads me on for what other people feel that I should follow. So, yes, I may have my own rules that I follow, but there's this hollowness that we see. And this hollowness creates a weakness when it is not addressed. And I think it's important to stress that because it can't be stressed enough that there are holes within what you say. But if my experience is my experience, you can never take that away. And that's why I believe that spirituality has its rightful place. Wow.
Round two is crazy. Hold on. We got to put. I really just needed the water. She's trying to look up. Trying to be that. We appreciate everybody that's sticking it through with us, man. It's gonna get bigger and bigger every time. We appreciate y'all for coming out, man. Fight. It's been a great event thus far.
So by this time, body is worn down, head shots kicking in, she's feeling depleted. Pride is a heck of a thing, though. Won't let old Betty here accept the fact that she's defeated. You've seen the truth, Betty. The outcome is not a mystery. For you, my friend, there's no path to victory. But here you are. So, as I said, you're going to take 3 L's. The last being the lost. But if you can't receive this, truth is, you're already lost. But my sheep know my voice. So if it's true, you got a chance to be found. Surrender, Afro-Betty, hands up. Microphone down. Sis, I ain't even battling no more. Right now, I'm pleading. My heart goes out to you, sis, and it's bleeding. Think about it before you deliver your last verse. I'm kind of thankful that you allowed me to blast first. Shots fired. But the intent ain't to kill. More like, let this flow through your veins, getting your system good and that you heal. I told y'all, she ain't even an enemy for real. There's a war going on outside. Grab your shield. Hold it high and hope you can fight off the distractions long enough to come to your senses. Stand up, shake off the dust. Open your eyes and see what you already see. A world full of me's only accountable to me. You don't even like the conditions in which we live in. But somehow your stance is to remove the rules to kill religion. The opposite of law is disorder, anarchy, and chaos. So yeah, let's cross over to those 3 things. AI. That's gotta be that artificial intelligence, because surely you can't be real. You want to purge the world of its rules, legitimize me getting killed, abused, raped, beaten, robbed, and no need to take the stand. That's what happens when you believe in God, but not his commands. And that's funny to me coming from somebody who cares about a black man, to make it even more okay to harm that man. For somebody that cares about our women, to strip away her protection under divine law. Good luck, my sister. For somebody who cares about our children, that they be born in a world where you just have to wish that somebody shares your feelings, but nothing in place to really hold them accountable. And don't talk to me about natural law. They find a way around it. Prime example. Y'all remember that stand your ground shit? Yeah. Let me say this plainly before I walk away gracefully. I did my best to present this clearly and to do it tastefully. And I hope this don't turn into human tendency and that you develop hate for me, but I've seen it too many times before. So those that believe in God, please pray for me. Truth be told, I don't care how the rounds are split in your decision. Y'all called on me to make this point, and so I did it. Here it is. For those that identify as spiritual, it's okay to identify the spirit that can help you explain what you did and why you did it. Otherwise, what's the point? You just out here doing you, all in the name of who knows what and who knows who.
Wow.
It's okay to have structure. It's okay to have law. And it's okay to practice it even if you ain't passed the bar. As a matter of fact, it's the right thing to do. To honor your God by doing what he asked of you to do. So go ahead and tell me I lost. I won't consider it egregious. For a while, even the disciples felt that about Jesus. So no disrespect taken. And I hope you know none was given. But one more time before I go. I ain't budging. You gonna make me lose my religion. Peace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like we. How sweet those words are. The impact of those words have continued to swim in and out of the lives of every generation that I've had an opportunity to have contact with. People who've looked at themselves as wretched sinners, allowing themselves to see themselves as anything but valuable. See, as beautiful as the words of those songs seem to be, this is where I have an issue with how people seem to express their belief in this deity. We always want to talk about the grace that we deserve. Yet we reserve grace for everyone else who's around us. Now, it's funny that people who believe in religion have so much to say about anyone else who does not. But when I encounter someone who has experienced life, gone through strife, and allow themselves to see that something can be changed if they made the effort themselves, they show more grace to me than I've even seen them show towards themselves. But yet I've seen people who believe in religion shelve that same grace because they feel like we don't deserve it. And that is where my issue lies. See, division is more than a math problem. Division exists when people see that they may not always agree on the same things. They may sing the same song with a different tune, creating remixes and mixing their own perceptions into things. But yet when we have an opportunity to come together, because we are so different, some people cannot accept it. And I think that's where we become failures as a society. Division is more than a math problem. Division has shown me that I can live in the same household as someone. And because I see things that they don't see, understand things differently, now we have an issue with our once existing camaraderie. Division shows that there are people who can sit beside each other on the same pew, looking at each other every single day and still choosing to feel that they are above any and all. We don't always fall because we're simply imperfect. We fall because we don't take into account how this spiritual God has given us our own minds. And again, I understand religion. I understand the structure. I understand why people want and feel like they need rules and regulations. I understand why people plead on behalf of what they believe. But if the spiritual God has shown me who he is outside of religion, I can't allow myself to be pigeonholed by what others have put in my face. That pride that you talk about has two sides. Pride does come before the fall. I know that's what the Bible says. There's pride in feeling like I cannot be touched because I feel like you can't touch me. And then there's the side of pride that says that you don't have the audacity to try to change me. So if we're going to talk about spirituality versus religion, I implore you to listen to what I say in this last sentence. There is nothing that you can say or do that will prove God's existence more to me than God himself. And that is why I believe that spirituality has its own strength. Because spirituality has allowed me to see God outside of four walls. It's allowed me to see his beauty in the world that I am able to look at every single day. So if I'm going to be persuaded, it would not be man to do that to me. It would be God himself, who is clearly a part of my spirituality.